If you follow the PC gaming community on Twitter, you would have seen the infamous Verge PC bill back in spotlight, primarily due to the Verge themselves. It is disappointing that such an influential media outlet like The Verge would resort to the tactics that we saw these past few days. I wanted to piece together the various pieces of information related to this out there, paint a whole picture of the situation, and give my opinion on the whole thing. So here goes. It all started about 5 months ago when The Verge posted a terrible PC build guide. It was factually inaccurate and contained many errors. It started off poorly when the host recommended using a Swiss Army knife which hopefully had a Phillips head screwdriver in it. The video then proceeded to say things like the power supply unit can short-circuit if it comes in contact with the chassis, and the PCI slots on the motherboard are all the same, both of which are inaccurate. They also installed the RAM in wrong slots, mixed 2 different types of thermal paste on top of the CPU, missed a screw in the CPU block, failed to install fans on the radiator. In short, there were mistakes related to every major component of the system. The icing on the cake was the use of incorrect terminology throughout the video and the horrendous cable management which could be seen at the end. The video rightfully received a lot of criticism, and many prominent tech tubers created reaction videos which explained what's wrong with the Verge PC build guide. The Verge should have removed that video and posted a corrected video, but their first reaction was to disable likes and comments for their video. The criticisms increased, rightfully again, and finally after a week or so, The Verge removed the video, but never made any corrections or apologies. In fact, they refused to accept any criticism, and the video host even tried to sidestep it by blaming tight schedules and saying that they fixed the build after shooting the video. That shouldn't matter, the posted guide was still wrong, and corrections were not made public in any form. Anyway, after a couple of weeks, the attention to the Verge PC build died down, and things were back to normal, kind of. Until last week. Out of the blue, Vox Media, Verge's parent company, decided to send copyright strikes to 2 of the reaction videos, one of which was posted by Kyle from Bitwit as his alter ego Lyle. That video, in my opinion, was one of the best things to come out of that situation. Criticism, commentary, and parody does fall under fair use of copyrighted material. So Kyle disputed the strike, and fortunately, YouTube responded to the situation relatively fast and retracted the strike, while expressing concern to The Verge that the copyright strikes they issued are not legitimate. The Verge themselves posted about how YouTube's copyright strikes are being abused just 1 day prior to them issuing the copyright strikes, and the irony of the situation was not lost on anyone. Of course, all this only served to bring back memories of that terrible PC build video, and criticisms about Verge abusing YouTube copyright mechanism piled on top of the existing ones. The Verge could have apologized even then to somewhat save their face, or at least said nothing more, but of course they did something to make things worse. The Verge's editor-in-chief, Lyle Patel, posted an article about the situation. This article, in my opinion, is really ridiculous and even makes me question the integrity of Verge and their editor-in-chief. First, they start off by saying that the YouTubers could have privately contacted him about the strikes, while it was them who set the strikes out of the blue. He further goes on to say that the striked videos used 90% of their footage without any edits, cuts, or otherwise transformative use, which is provably wrong since Kyle's video was shorter than 90% of Verge's video. Then he says that at his direction, the strikes were retracted. But the timeline does not really match up here. Kyle's strike was removed before the Verge retracted the strikes, and when someone pointed this out to Lyle, he did not refute it. He simply said that there were 2 strikes. From this, what I understand is that YouTube told The Verge that the copyright strike against Kyle is not legitimate, and then The Verge decided to retract both strikes to try and save their face. But here's where it gets fishy. The article claims that YouTube agreed the videos were not fair use, which seems to be untrue. The article also says that the strikes were retracted at his specific instruction, not through any YouTube dispute process. And this seems to be misleading at best and blatantly false in the worst case. Lyle is playing hero and victim in the article, which is frankly ridiculous to anyone watching from the outside. If you read the article, it becomes clear that the Verge still does not acknowledge the mistakes that they made. Instead, they are still calling this a coordinated harassment campaign while trying to take down criticism that they didn't like. None of the steps are casting a positive light on them, and at this point, I might even speculate that they are doing this just for publicity, even if it's bad publicity. I don't think anyone can possibly think that this will rectify the mistakes that they made earlier. The tech community does not forget easily, and the Verge is being bombarded by criticism from all sides. This might as well be their last chance to come clean, issue apologies, and rectify their mistakes. I don't think that's going to happen, just wishful thinking at this point. In any case, it is sad to see the downfall of such a prominent media outlet, which was once upon a time one of my reliable sources for tech reviews.